like, you know, the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate, Justin Waller, like Myron, or Fresh and Fit. Do you think that you'd be able to determine if they are happy or if they aren't? How do you think that would go?
I think I would be able to determine it, but I would say here's the thing that I would say: there's a barrier towards actual emotional intimacy towards women. It might be because their lifestyle is too busy, but it might be because they've outsourced it with, like, maybe for example, Andrew and Tristan, they've got such a close connection with each other. They share so much emotional intimacy. They're like each other's best friend. So the requirement from a woman is that she doesn't have to have those traits. She doesn't have to be super loyal, loving, all these things, because they've got that with each other, and they can just, a woman is just there to look pretty, have babies with, and so they can compartmentalize a bit better. But the impression I get more from like the Justins and the Fresh and Fit is they've faced too much rejection in their life from women. They've been burnt too much by women, and that burnt has made them want to create a power imbalance where they're so much more powerful than the woman, so that they can never get burnt again. But in the process of this power imbalance, they're actually losing power. And the reason I say this is, as a man, as you get older, let's say you get over the age of 35 and you're still dating 22-year-old women, they think, I'm providing all the money, I'm providing the lifestyle, I'm older than her, I've got all the power. Doesn't work like she has all the power. And the reason she has all the power is, as a 22-year-old, if you're willing to date men 10, 15, 20 years older, you're a promiscuous woman to some extent, because your pool of men is too wide. You're going to date somebody who's 19 up until 40. Your pool of men is endless. So if you are somebody Justin or Fresh and Fit's age and you're dating a super young girl, she's already far more promiscuous than you are because her pool is too big. Whereas your pool, as an older man who's only dating young girls, is still quite limited. There's only a limited amount of young girls. But if you're a young girl who's willing to date older men, rich men, your pool is endless. So firstly, she's already got that. Secondly, she's learned she can access that lifestyle without any hard work. You've had to hustle all those time and money. Like, you've had to come home stressed. You've had to really put your life on the line. You've had to really struggle to get that level of wealth. She's learned that if she just knows how to arouse a man sexually, she can get that lifestyle like that. You're teaching her, she has all the power. Look how difficult it was for you to acquire that wealth. And she did it from being able to please you in a way in the bedroom in one night. So you're actually giving her far more power than you realize, because you're allowing her an elevation of status that she didn't earn. So by becoming this powerful man and then selecting this really low value kind of just beautiful woman who doesn't have anything else going for her, you have tipped it where she's just learned the...
But then wouldn't that limit you as a, let's say, a high value guy to only date other high value women? And what if that's not what you're looking for? What if you don't need someone who has that like same lifestyle?
It does limit you, but that's one of the sacrifices that you make when you are a high value man. You've got to choose. Everything in life has a sacrifice. Now, some men think that they can have it all. They think they can go for the woman that's a quarter of their age and give her a lifestyle and she'd be submissive. When you're teaching women that they can access so much success simply because of their appearance and their sexual performance, you're teaching her the wrong lesson in life. And when you teach that to a woman young, you are going to be replaceable, because she will learn that skill up until she's 50, 40. Because to a 70-year-old, 40 is still young. So she learns that lesson so quick. So what happens is you teach a woman from a very young age that she didn't have to be intelligent, she didn't have to be hardworking, she didn't have to be loving, loyal, she didn't have to do anything. And she accessed this level of lifestyle, which took you 20 years to acquire. You've given her so much power.
So I noticed you had a conversation with Andrew Tate.
I did.
Would you say that you would deem him as good or bad faith?
Great. I would label him as good. Yeah, I would think that he's improved a lot in terms of his message. I think initially the message was far more hedonistic, where it was very much money, cars, women, and so on and so forth. And a hedonistic, I'm always anti-hedonism. I find it very distracting. I find it very childlike. I don't like all of those things. But I think the underlying message of, restoring masculinity, restoring the importance of truthfulness, restoring some of your power, like not just kind of giving it all to women, I think that part I really enjoy. So overall, I would never, knock anybody's, message or in this sphere, because I know he's gone through a lot. But I enjoyed my conversation with Andrew. I respect a lot of things that he says. Obviously, we have disagreements because I'm far more traditional. My mindset is like this, not because I disagree with him and I think he's wrong. It's just that I can't align with it because I was raised so differently and so on and so forth. So there's disagreements, but overall, I think I don't have any qualms with Andrew.
Do you think that, I also noticed that transition as well that he's been going through, I feel like in the last, I know he's been getting a lot more religious and everything as well, which is pretty interesting.
I like to see, yeah.
Do you think that overall now, at least in his current state, that he's a more positive message for people than he is a negative one?
I would say so. Because I think the key difference between Andrew and somebody maybe like Fresh and Fit or Justin, I don't know much about Justin. I've never watched any of his content, but I see little clips here and there, is I think the underlying, when it comes to women, you can still see that Andrew likes women. You can still see that he likes women. He wants to love a woman, wants to be with a woman. He likes women. The others, I don't see. It looks like they use women as an instrument towards pleasure and status, but I don't see that they actually like women and want to know women and actually want to love and connect with women. So I think the underlying likeness towards women, I think Andrew has, but I don't know if the others have.
That's really interesting.
All right. So, has anybody have any quick thoughts about that video?
Yeah, first off, fuck Andrew Tate.
Really?
He read in on that nigga be like,
Wow.
Yeah, I got time, cuz.
He one of them fake I'm black so I can say nigger. If I want to see these niggers run, I'm gonna threaten them with a job, saying stupid ass racist tweets. Him, that goofy Sneeko, and the rest of them. They stay saying all this racist ass shit and under the guise of, yeah, I'm a minority. So I just want to straighten that out from the beginning. Fuck Andrew Tate, the horse he rode in, the squad, the record label, and the motherfucking team. Fuck that bitch. Now you can continue going about.
Say word. Say word.
Ooh, wait, what you got on it?
I don't really pay attention to him. Like I've seen a few of his blurbs, but
no, your camera off. You meant to do that?
Yeah, for a minute. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Like, you know, like I said, I'm here tonight just to keep myself distracted, you know. But I don't really like. I've seen some things that like the person said, but like I hear some of what he's saying, but it's true to what she spoke on as far as like you could tell he's been hurt and he just vowed that he was never going to allow himself to be in a vulnerable, intimate, you know, connection. And that's that's an unfortunate thing, but I don't listen to him, so I don't really. But I do know that he comes off very elitist in some ways, and has invited himself to the party, and so it's like everybody wants to buy into our culture. They want the rhythm, they want the blues, but I don't listen to him. I don't subscribe to his ideology at all.
So it sounds like they're just having a conversation about gaining value as men and giving women who haven't done this equivalent amount of work all of that value, or just treating them and spoil them whenever they haven't done the work. I understand what she's saying. I respect what she's saying, but I think once you get to that status, it's not about finding somebody who's done equivalent work. It's just being able to reach a status where you're able to be generous. And if you decide you want to give your resources or your time or treatment to somebody who haven't done it, that's up to the person who wants to give it. Typically, the men who are in that situation really don't look for somebody who's done this similar work, but is able to give them the outcomes they want. And if the outcomes are, hey, I want you to be beautiful. Hey, I want you to perform well in bed. I think it's more than that, what she just stated. I think just to strengthen her point, she sort of left it at being beautiful and being able to perform in the bed. Some of these women are able to cook. They're loyal. I'd be remiss if I would agree with her on the loyal thing. Yeah, they have to be loyal. Most definitely have to be fucking loyal. But just being in that position, man, it's not a lot you require from the woman you want to be with. And it's all about the outcomes you want. And I think she's just looking at it from her own beliefs on how a woman should be and what she should bring to the table if she's matching with this high caliber guy. And that's not every guy. You know what I'm saying? Every guy has a different way of following principles, and they come from a different background. And you just simply got to understand each individual and what they want. Like, what outcomes do they want? I talk to many guys who are on that level, and they don't all want the same thing from a woman. It might be surprising, but they don't. And it's important to know what outcomes they want so they can get compatibility from a woman. And most of the time, it's just somebody who wants to cooperate and who can be led. Because being in that position, man, it's a vulnerable position to have somebody coming into your life and they want to pull the strings and shit and they haven't done the work. But if they can be led, if they can kind of look at you as the leader and take direction, granted, you're able to articulate this direction and where it's for the best interest of the family or what you're trying to build together. And that's all they really want. It's none of that other surface level stuff. And I'll yield because I can be on this topic all day.
I bet. Miss Tate, what you got on that?
I was going to say, I think that what she was getting at is if you are a high value man and you're looking for a deep, a true relationship, that if your method of choosing is just because she's young and beautiful, then you're not going to necessarily access that part. And you're reinforcing a negative behavior for that chick, which I think is going on a lot now, like where it's just the exchange. I'm a high value man and you can access me through having beauty and booty, beauty and booty, right? And so it's just like what she's saying is what's reinforcing to the young lady is that I don't have to offer anything else. I don't have to bring anything else to the table. But at some point, that 20-year-old is going to be 30, right? And so she hasn't developed any other skills or attributes that when she is or needing to settle down or wanting to settle down, now she doesn't really have anything to bring to the table. So I think that's kind of what she was getting at. In the 20s, you're to make yourself feel better because you're the high value man. You're trying to go after the young, hot woman just to kind of be that piece by your side, but you're not developing a substantial, deep relationship with anybody. So I think that's kind of what she was getting at. And I do agree with that message if I interpreted that right.
Oh, I also want to say that I do think that Andrew Tate probably is so what is it called when you don't want to have sex with men, but you want an emotional relationship with them? It's homo-relational. Like
I thought it was like a bromance.
So yeah, I think she's right. He emotionally attracted to his brother. You know, whatever side of him is making him feel that way, he emotionally attracted to his brother. So everything she was saying was he gets what he needs from women from another man. So I don't know what you call that, but I think I could see it. Like at some point in life, you do need to connect with people, right? And throughout society, most people have found a significant other, a wife or a husband, and they connect and create whatever bond it is within that house. She was describing them creating that bond with each other and then just outsourcing having kids. I mean, that's one way to live, but it ensures that you forever going to be detached from like women in any other capacity outside of it, to having children with them and just having sex with them. And when you like 15, 16, I get it. You don't really understand the dynamics that play between men and women, and you just want to compartmentalize that. But as you get older, a lot of times you grow mentally, I would think, and you realize that there are levels to shit in life, and that the connection that you can have with women can increase to a different thing outside of just sex as you get older. But I don't think he's interested in that. I think he's more interested in emotionally being in love with another man.